Blessings and welcome forward to Reasonings right here at the Tree of Life in the Oak Gardens right here up in Papine. Nice sunny afternoon, the vibe has cleared up a lot better and things are just so warm. You know, I'm your host, the Great Owl, in the presence of my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love. Perfect love. Yes, Brother Singh, you know, we've been doing a couple of videos up here because we kind of got out of the chaotic city and kind of wean ourselves off of the load in the college. And here is nowhere near as loud as there is, so it's a lot more bird and people and it's just more freer. It's kind of cool as well because I'm very familiar and you over the years have been here once or twice. You know, as people who we kind of love a good experience, we are grown in Jamaica, groomed in Jamaica, where you might not be the most popular child or go to the most popular places, but usually Jamaican life entails lots of fun, growing up, hanging out with friends, family members, you know, the girls you love, the girls you're interested in from you're very young to the woman that you love and interested in as a man as you get older, right? And to the, you know, the men women are interested in from they were boys, you know, until they become man. You know, the energy of it is that we have a very social culture. And within the social culture comes drinking and smoking. I guess both amongst male and female, after you reach a certain age, it is legally accepted to a degree, and then we normally would start before. So drinking and smoking, it's usually something that we do a lot. We did a video on smoking, but I don't think we ever did a video on drinking alcohol or the dangers of drinking alcohol. But drinking and smoking has always been a part of our thing, and so if you tend to be young, you tend to be wanting to try the alcohol in terms of the secular culture. The Rasta culture had what we call roots, right? And when I was younger, roots wasn't alcoholic, meaning there's a fermentation in the roots and there's a slight percentage of alcohol, but it was fresh. It wasn't even sweetened when I was a child, and it was for adults, not youth. And if it was for children, it would be weaker, we would say, right? So the Rastaman have very potent roots, giving a buzz, cannabis, sometimes sorrel, many different. The secular people have vodka, rum, red stripe beer, Heineken, Guinness. We have all these name brand liquors that are some indigenous and some from, you know, outside, right? And this is heavily a part of Jamaican culture. Who wants to deny it? Even if we don't like it, even if we say we are Christian and we've been Christian our whole life and we never drink and we never smoke. Your brother drink, your sister smoke, your mother smoke, your father did smoke, he does smoke, he still smoke. You know, across there are people smoking. So the culture of drinking and smoking has impacted us so much. Whether we are doing it, weaning ourselves off it when we come to Christ or we come to faith, our ital living, our natural living according to the Rastaman creed, no alcohol, none of that, or even no roots, you know, to some degree, or no fermented roots to some degree. But alcohol has become a very big problem because I guess when we were younger people wouldn't drink hard liquor. What we call hard liquor is a more heavier proof, rum, vodka, and distilled spirits or such, right? I guess we were drinking more like the root beers and the light beers and stuff like that. But no mixed liquors, no cocktail drinks, Hennessy's, the Moits, and so they are becoming the popular drink of 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 21-year-olds. Like, people are constantly strung out after clubbing, partying, even house parties, nice friends getting together. A 21-year-old girl in Jamaica died 2 weeks ago because she drank a 3/4 cube, 3 quarts of, what do you call that? At the 3/4 cube, yeah. 3/4 flask, so I should say, yeah. Forgot what is the actual term, so you know I'm not a drinker, but I'm trying to get the proper term. But it's a bottle that probably holds like maybe 24 ounces of raw, cane, overproof Jamaican rum, and I heard you drank it on the rocks. On the rocks, oh, we say Jamaica, drink it straight, right? Without chaser. And in Jamaica, we drink it with chaser. But
so it was 21 shots, I heard.
Wow!
21 shots.
For 21. And she never made it to 22. So the culture of alcohol, no, but I think that's dangerous. What you have to say about this, man? Because I haven't got into nothing. I'm just laying it out. So, I mean, what do you think about this? So our current topic is on the dangers of consuming alcohol or consuming too much alcohol. What do you think?
Yes, brother, great old man. I remember college days. you know, free from parents, you know, in a little rented flat. So it's not like we on dam. We have our own flat, you know, in the city.
Yes.
Free, you know. Never drink hard liquor before. Never really go parties before. But my friends love these things.
Yes.
You know, it was never something what I grew up into. My mother a 7-day Adventist, you know, strict 7-day Adventist. In which I say no TV on Saturday. Strict. You know, only Christian song or Christian things can play.
Yes.
On Saturday, Sabbath.
Yes. Yes.
You know? So usually a Saturday's parties would have gone. So me never get introduced to that until I go college.
Yes.
You know, parties and liquor. My friend them introduced me to it and
wow.
You know, we start drink liquor every night. You know, we find say we never really like the what you call it, the white rum or the Appleton. Or this thing named El Dorado. So when I go to the supermarket, get me El Dorado.
Yeah.
And say, boy, if I drink liquor, El Dorado, you know.
I think it's a Caribbean brand, right?
We have to be sure,
Yeah,
you know?
I think it's a Caribbean brand, maybe Guyana, I think.
True, because remember, it never so harsh.
Yeah, I think it's one of the Demerara brands, yeah.
It can drink on the rocks, you know. So me also love that.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
You know, so me also drink up
Don't
my
try
liquor.
this at home.
You know, college days, you know, and can look with any female. It develop a confidence in me, you know. Can look any female when me see past me. She walk past. I'd say, boy.
Joking confidence, man.
You know, I get the number, you know. End up get her number, you know. Living wild.
Yes.
Upon every dam. All of the girls them know it. You know. We have got enough antics. You know, always lick up. And I bring liquor to the dams and
Yeah, because you have to have that symmetry, right? For the vibe.
yeah. So I said that we say me know what liquor is. Because I drink up couple liquor well. You know? Drink up whole heap of beer and you know what I call it steel bottom.
That's beer and rum, right?
Yeah man, mix up the hard liquor and the beer.
Wow.
You know, say yeah. The one here gonna knock you out. You know, we used to go hard, you know, and with the smoking,
Yeah.
the herbs, so it's different.
Yes.
Until one day, it's like, we don't know, we just start say why? Why? Why this liquor? And then I realize I don't like to lose control.
Yeah.
It make me lose control sometimes, you know? And when I sober up, I say, John, why am I say that? Or why am I do that?
Yes.
I just feel so free.
Yeah.
Feel like I can do anything.
Drunken confidence. Tipsy confidence.
You know? So we start
Tipsy bravado.
pull back from the alcohol now. You know, we don't know Christ them time, you know. We just live life.
But by the experience, you kind of see what it was doing to you.
Yeah. Come here and say, boy, I don't like lose control. That,
Majesty.
Yes, I-
Respect. Up in a family. Up. Yes.
so that's the first thing we realize
Yes.
with the liquor.
Yes.
Make you lose control.
For real.
And me not like that. Like my conscience and my spirit and my heart.
Hey.
Not like that.
Yeah. Understand, man.
It feel wrong. It feel like a sin for you. That feel like sin. Because you know no control. Because free will reality, you know.
Absolutely. I love the way you put it, brother. There's
And then
something
you just,
inhabiting
when
it.
you're drunk, you're just free. And I
Yeah.
just do.
Yeah.
Any little free thing you want to do. And I say, no man. If we have control, restraint, we're not for drunk.
Hallelujah.
You know, so
I
remember,
agree, brother.
see the Bible verse, you know, for love drunkenness, you know, you have to be sober minded, be sober,
Yeah. I was just,
because the adversary, the devil,
yes.
is pouring, you know, prowling around like a roaring lion, seeking whom him can devour,
Exactly.
you know. So me make sure say my head always there on my shoulder. You know? If me buck up on the herbs or too high,
Yes.
I tell them say me no want that.
And this is truly what I observe with you for real.
Yes I
Blaze it still enough.
that man, me no want that.
I'm not burning.
Because it make me feel like junk. And me no want feel junk.
Yes.
More of a medicine for treat my asthma.
Yes.
You see me? And keep me on a calm level.
Hey.
You see me? Me no want junk
Yes.
and feel out of control.
Yes.
As the Bible says, you know?
True. Guys, a strong drink is a mocker. You know, let a man drink and forget his troubles, because I guess if you are so burdened, you know, the only way a person who don't have a faith thinks that they can release certain things, I guess, is when they feel out of body, out of mind, or out of consciousness, which is some degree out of control. I mean, I didn't learn good things about drinking because I wasn't a drinker, right? I just knew that I grew up in King's House with my stepfather, that there was always liquor around, and I got drunk when I was 10 years old. So, I mean, I just knew that high quality liquor and all these things were just like a part of life, and because I saw adults loving it, and I guess to some degree my parents, you know, so I felt that, well, I wanted to do that too. And so I tried, because it would have been only natural too. So I grew up without thinking of anything special about alcohol, except that it's a part of life. But the biology always knew that I couldn't take a lot. I think this is a thing about my sign, or whatever the time of the year I was born, that we're not too good with alcohol. And I find that I can outsmoke a lot of people, and my lucidity is there, because I remember a time when people tested me on smoking, I realized that, better you leave me on that, hallelujah. It's better you leave me on that. I'm gonna blaze from now till next morning, and I'll be clear my eyes. And just to remind him of the first time I was tested. So the first time I was tested with this nice young lady, you know, we were young and fun. I went to Calabash Festival, right? And we were smoking all day, and the first time, it's like our first date out fully, and she's actually got to observe me for 24 hours. Because we're young people, and even though I think I was 22, and she was like, she's 4 years younger, so she was 18. So in essence, we were not really allowed out after our parents used to come and pick her up, you know. So we got to Calabash, and it's the first time we could be out for the whole night. I blazed ganja the whole day. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, she looks at me and she says, I've been watching you all day. And so one thing I want to observe, because my friends have been saying, Jerome is always smoking, right? And she says, your eyes, they lit up all the way. You never went dim. You meaning in her language, hallelujah. I was lucid all the time. And she was like, at some point, this guy's gonna start talking gibberish, garbage, or start whatever. Never happened. But so anyway, say this. So I grew up not having the addiction mindset about things. As my preamble said, we would hang out. All right. So here's when I knew now there's a difference between alcohol and smoking, because you spoke clearly about the drinking, but you know, I said drinking and smoking kind of two was matched. Hallelujah. For me, so I had no problem with the smoking. But here's when the drinking became a problem. I was probably, let's say, I'm trying to get exactly, about 22, and I was dating this girl called Paige. And I was working at an interior design place that had a garden and such, and it was a nice place, very nice business called Arcade Patch. And they had I was in the administrative department, as well as I did some of the culturing for the plants. So they had 2 workers that was the outdoor workers that tended to the actual plants in the garden. And when people came to buy the plants, I would be the one going and showing them, but they would be the ones caring for the plants. So they would know more about the plants than me, and I would still need to take pointers from them. But let's put it in a nice way, because I want to give people context. This video is going to be a little different from the others. So let's just say I'm the house slave, house Negro, because I'm a little looking certain way, young boy, speaking proper English, yeah. And when the people come to, you know, look for a gift for their loved ones, whether wedding, birthday, anniversary, death, I'm out there talking about the different orchids and what, but I still have to get the knowledge from them. But the bosses, which is like uptowners, don't want them speaking to. It was like a little competition. So they are field slave, field niggas, and the house nigga. So every time they see me out there looking all nice, there's a little vibe developing. So we would have a lot of clashes, right? And they would try to show me up on the knowledge of certain plants. So I said, oh, I must also know not just the name of the plants, but the seasons of care and where it come from. I'm like, okay, because he's gonna stop me there, but I'm not gonna let him beat me anyway. So we developed a little rivalry. So they couldn't beat me any other way. And one day, they had a brilliant idea. They said, Jerome, I'm gonna like your man. You can drink, and young Jerome had a big ego. And I said, oh, no boy, I can't drink me under the table. Because I told you I grew up drinking. Some of us are feeling ego and I talk. They were like, okay, so we're going to go by Marketplace and bring your girl and because you're going to need her. Okay, anyway, so we all hung out. 3 of them came. They didn't bring their girl. But I brought my girl. Wondering what that was about. But anyway, it's not what you think. Anyway, we started drinking. We're drinking the Red Stripe beer, Jamaica. I'm 22 years old. This is when I know alcohol was never going to be hallelujah for me. This is when I know. Anyway, so we started drinking. First beer, second beer, third beer, fourth beer. Okay, I'm taking a breath here. But they're smiling. Because like, we've got crates of beer and you're just smiling. I'm like, I think that this one is not going so well. So my girl begins to look in my eyes. And she began to slowly hold my hands now under the table like this and squeeze my hands and look at me. I'm like, I'm good. Fifth one now. I drink almost all of it and she recognized the bottles are stacked up, so she would slide the bottle with one and she'd throw it out, right? So the sixth one come and I took it up, right? And everybody started smiling. The Australian was like, I drank one little bit out of it. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I said, I need to be right back. But that thing, it's a good thing I got up. Something in me wanted to run out of Marketplace man at speed. Drunk, But I couldn't believe, say, I was drunk. The fourth one warned me, I was drunk, My girl said, come Jerome, don't let them see you like this. So she took me, and we walk outside. Ego me kicking, I must have feel like I was superhero. I jumped up on the bridge. Oh, by the way, I have a fear of walking on bridges. Right? I grew up with a fear of bridges. I climb up on, if anybody know Marketplace, big bridge before they put a new one, or put a side one, I climb up on the big bridge ledge. And start telling me I go fly. And so she got really crazy. She's like, oh my God. I didn't kind of understand them to bring your girl. Because they knew they caught my weakness. So hey, I wouldn't come off of there. It was causing a scene. And I tell her that I'm not going to come off, I'm going to fly off. And she says, okay, fly off. I'm going to catch you. And Brother Singh, I didn't come down until I jumped. I literally said I was going to fly off and she caught me. And she walked me up and down until I got back to a little sober. When I came back, they laughed me to scorn. And they're like, when we said that, we betted that you would not pass 3. And when we saw you with 4, we said, boy, I'm going like him bravey. And by the 5th one, I was going out of it. What's the Mongoose over there? Come back, family there. And say, yo, when they reach 4, I'm going like him brave, it's allow him. So they reach 5 now. And that sixth one, literally, when we went to should have threw that away. I never lost it like that before. Hey, I never lost it like that since. The worst insight I had was when I was 10 years old and I drank all of the Moet and I fell asleep. I woke up, I fell asleep about 10 in the morning and woke up at 8 p.m. That was the worst thing up until that point. And from that, I think the most I've ever gone was 3 Red Stripe Light, and I was very shocked. I was very happy one day, and I bought one beer, and a friend of mine I cussed him out because he was being disingenuous, and he apologized and brought beers, right? I didn't want to take it, but the Spirit says these are peace offerings. So he sees you drinking a beer, and he didn't ask you what you want, so he didn't just bring you beers. I'm like, I wanted every excuse to be angry at him, and I drank 3 beers, but before that, that was the most alcohol I consumed at any one time because of that experience. So Brother Singh, that moment, it changed everything, because I really was out of it, and I could see what they were saying when they said, bring your girl, because they knew I was going to embarrass myself. And so I know, like me, a lot of people, they did the exact same thing, but to worse end result. They're not here today. I was a walk, I was going to take a cab home, right? My girl's going to take me home, but some people, they get behind a wheel. So now it's getting serious, right? It's no longer a joke, and Jerome was making fun of his stupidity back then. But hey, now it's serious now, right? Because sometimes they get behind the wheel and they're really not here. They're not cognizant. They're not conscious. Their motor skills are impaired. They're drunk. So why should they be getting behind the wheel of a car? Why should they be operating machinery? why should they be, you know, engaged in something that is serious and meaningful at that time? So it's a point where alcohol can lead to poisoning, right? It can lead to an emotional poisoning through addiction, and it can lead to a biological poisoning by burning up the liver, cirrhosis, and several other carcinogenic end results in the body is caused by alcohol. What I think.
Yes, brother, great all. Want to mention, remember Christ did one wedding with his mother, and the wine finished, and his mother asked him, please, you know, help you out no more, because his mother know what he can do, you know.
Yeah, what he's capable of.
You know, like he was a John over me. Oh boy, you know, I know my time yet.
Yeah.
You know, she said, please. And him say, bring some water, come. You know, some, what do I call it?
Earthen jars.
True.
Clay pots.
Yes, I. And him pray over it, bless it. It become one of the best tasting wine.
The best,
you know?
according to the head of the feast.
Yeah, kind of say, what? You wait till the last part until you bring out the best.
And normally people serve the best first, and then it water long after you're drunk.
Yes, you know. So Christ did make wine to give people. Basically, Christ give people liquor. Not for drunk them, but just for appease them for the celebration, you know. You know, wine can make it a man happy. And it can make it a man sad.
Very.
You see me? At the balance. Because me personally, you know, if I'm up on the road, me drink a 1 beer. If I'm there home, me drink 2. Me alright after that.
Yes, yeah.
Me good, you know? Me not really fussy over liquor. Me not fussy over, I know something where you're going to see me with enough, you know?
It's not essential for your fun.
Yes,
or your gathering or your peace.
True. Yeah, man. Because from me have something I can bust up the gas. I'm good. Yeah. You know? And enough time the liquor help make my belly feel better. Bust up the gas.
Yes.
You know, because it's good for drink and you eat your lunch.
Yes.
It settles your stomach.
Yes, for real.
You know? It settles my stomach.
No, but there's a big link between alcoholic drinking and digestion, especially if you eat certain meats. And certain hard to break down thing, it really adds to digestive qualities within meat eaters. So
yes,
there's literature. That's why a little red wine with maybe red meat, you know, sometimes a little white wine with maybe seafood, you know.
It was so recently, my brother they come down and visit, and they say we go out, you know, and them go to a bar. And them have enough things on the table, you know, and you don't know you have the cranberry juice, you know, a cup of ice and whole heap of liquor, you know? Like in the bar must be some special edition Appleton. And him say, try it on the rocks, man.
Yeah, because the VX was always special, and Jamaicans always love that. I was a teenager.
You know?
Here I go.
Time I say, I know you're staying or you're one Christian man, you know? And I say, yo, me taste it, man, as a celebration or, you know, just a gathering. But I know nothing for me drunk. Me not taste, me take a sip, me say, okay, I saw it taste. It's an experience.
We call it a sacrament, to be honest, right? In such a space.
Yes, I. Someone say, oh, give thanks. I saw it taste. I know nothing for say, alright, me go take a couple more cup.
You know, it takes several rounds of it.
Yeah.
You're not going to go 21 shots.
No, just 1 cup. And I taste it. And I nothing for junk. I just for taste and say, alright, after that, I just beer cran juice. You know?
True,
so me just join it and I like something. I said, no, I do something evil.
Yes.
I don't want to take part and make them feel away.
Yeah.
No. Me take a sip and I say, I this a love zine. Like him I say, taste it, man. And I say, oh, yeah, man. But I know nothing for me junk.
Yes.
That's why I say, okay, it tastes nice, but me drink my cran juice after this. And water.
That's
me alright.
That keep you balanced and in peace.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but you
At
know, me
least,
no want like I say, yo, them a do some devilish thing.
Yes.
I don't want to be a part of it. No, cause them not drink, them not over drink neither.
Yes, yes.
You know?
I mean, tell you, if you got to drive home and you're going to drink, because again, if it's culturally a normative function, then you're going to groom on it. So what I would suggest then is self-control, make it the man or woman. Because what importance means in that case, importance means self-control and having the power to have self-denial, to deny yourself that extra drink, that 2 beers or whatever that is going to put you not just over the legal alcohol limit. That's not what I'm considering. That's going to put you over or under the state of an altered consciousness. That's what I'm thinking about, that refusing those 2 last or those last 3, or just being satisfied with 1, like my Virgin Lynch, you know, I might be able to take a little bit more, but he's like, God rest his soul in peace, he was unable to. So we have similar traits, that if it's too alcoholic, I'll have it for 2 days. He'll have it for 4 days. You might say it might not be worth it, but you know, I end up throwing a lot of alcohol as I get older, but then, yeah, but self-control, that's my point. My point is, some people don't drink, and I'm saying, God bless you. You have some other habit. I'm not trying to compare habits. I'm just saying, be careful in judging. Be that as it may, because we're not just talking to people who are going to be agreeing with us. We're talking to people who are saying, oh, you drink and this and that, because people have complexes, right? But the issue is this, drinking has been recreational. I don't think many people, to a degree, agrees or disagree with drinking being recreational, because at one point or another, they have taken a drink. I think the people who have directly disagreed with intake of alcohol have been spiritual people or religious people, because, you know, within the religious community, alcohol is the flesh-eating spirit that inhabits, I guess, a highly fermented beverage, liqueur, well, they would call it a beverage, and it's still a beverage.
Spirit.
A spirit, yeah, that's what they thank you for it. Yeah, they would call it a spirit, an ether. And so, being an ether and a spirit, it's like, it says it, ether, spirit, it's spirit. So, there's this flesh-eating spirit. And so, in understanding good behavior in drinking, I'm talking culturally, I'm going to give the intellectual stuff after, even I mean I don't want to, but anyway, what people would tell us in Jamaica, make sure that before you go and drink something, you would have a full stomach. I mean, you'd eat a proper meal, because we did say flesh eating, and I did say it helps with digestion. Because I'm not kidding people, I'm not tripping either, because literally, the flesh eating spirit, when you eat meat, the alcohol, hallelujah, helps to digest the meat, because it dissolves the flesh eating spirit. You get what I'm saying? So, our people always tell us, as a traditional outlook on drinking, eat something, eat a solid meal, because most times when people faint, fall over after drinking a lot of alcohol, it's usually because they have no food in their system. They have no strength, and the alcohol feeds upon their bodily system. And so self-control is very important. So there are people who have addiction because they're possessed by a spirit of gluttony or lust, or they're craving. And so a craving spirit in an alcoholic sense will lead to alcoholism, because that person is going to put every experience into a bottle. As the Bible says, the man, like alcohol be for the man who drinks and to forget his trouble, because everything that person is going to be drinking, so that person automatically will become an alcoholic, because they have lost self-control. And by losing self-control, those flesh-eating spirits are having running amok. So the Spirit is saying to tell them it in another way without the religious overtone. Well, one of the symptoms of the flesh-eating spirits is a hangover. So they tell you that the hangover is because of the alcohol in your system, but the alcohol in your system sometimes been passed out through urinating. So what is the hangover? The hangover is the damage of the flesh-eating spirits, hallelujah, on the system. And that's why a lot of times, well, we know it, because I told you about my culture, that's why I know it. You drink milk, or something that was colloquially termed to coat the lining of your intestines, of your stomach, because you can't go and eat hard food. So that's why they always say orange juice, which is not recommended by me because that's acidic, but something more alkaline, I would recommend if you're having a hangover and learning your lesson. But yeah, but so that is why it's the flesh-eating spirits that cause the hangover, and that's why when we're saying to eat now to energize yourself in the morning after the hangover, is usually people would say take milk or something that would coat the stomach from all the damage done before you start digesting any kind of, serious foods, right? So full stomach before you before you drink, go and eat something if you are a drinker. If you've never tasted it, I'm not going to tell you that you're missing anything. If you're struggling with alcoholism, you need psychological training in self-control and behavior. So find yourself a good therapist, yeah? Maybe one that works with psychomatics, maybe a spiritual therapist like myself. It will help you in reinforcing your ideals without needing some kind of a stimulant, right? Or a sedative, because it can be both, to do it. So you need to reinforce your psychological matrix, which is in the meditation. I said I wasn't going to go into lecture. But anyway, it's a structure of being able to return to your willpower without being inebriated. And so it's possible. That is necessary if you are struggling to come out of alcoholism. That means you're an alcoholic. But if you're finding that you're getting a little too happy, you're not yet an alcoholic, you're getting a little too happy around alcohol, you're feeling a little too excited when it is poured, you need to step back. Give the club a break, give the friends a break, leave the home bar alone. Lock it and forget where you put the key, for those who actually have a home bar, because life is near it. It's varied. I was trying to say myriad. Anyway, leave the home bar key somewhere, forget it. Put it away when you don't remember where it is, and don't go break into it in the hours of the night after you and your wife or your husband had an argument, right? Meaning, self-control, that's all I'm saying, encounter. And then of course, if you can't do that, I would say turn to God. Turn to God, because if you don't have that self-control, and you don't want your soul to go down the pits of it, you don't want to become a man or a woman that's pissing on yourself, pooing on yourself out in public, dogs pissing on your face, or a lot of those men with locks that we know is Rastaman being embarrassed because they went to night or drank a little too much, tumbling over in a well and thing. Remember that was taken over TikTok, I may show you? I felt so embarrassed by it, but brother, I love one of my brothers and sisters, but please, oh my God, me I embarrass myself, wow, that's what I learned. Yeah, but it happens, so you need to step away from those occasions where you know that you're losing self-control, man. You're getting too excited about drinking, and it's a free liquor got your eyes going pop out of your head, like you smell the bottle and you start go and start whistle loud and clap all your hands. It's so sad to see you like that on the street corner. So you might think that next drink might not get you there, but what if somebody spiked that drink? So there's other things to it too, you know. It's not just, oh, I'm strong, I'm healthy, and I had a full stomach of food, but that's why I need to turn to God, because listen, that could be a spell that got you hooked on the alcohol, you know, hallelujah. It could be a spell. And all the self-control you want to have, you're not going to get past it. So going on your knees and praying to God to be delivered from that alcohol spirit. It's good. That's it.
Yes, sir. Because you talk about the alcohol spirit. Usually people who drink to the point of being drunk, usually them life always out of control.
Chaos.
Chaos, bad standing with people, family, financials, or big bar money. You have some people have some big tab for pay a bar, 100,000,
No, I come to understand.
Yeah, owe enough money a bar. And them have to pay it back every month, little. Make a deal.
Wow.
And say, alright, me pay 20,000 every month.
Like a layaway.
Yeah, and then still I come back.
Hallelujah.
And say, put that on the tab. And I build up the tab same way. So I saw the bar catch enough people too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And my family operate bars, so that's a year I said I'm a bit, me and Jerome talk again. So my family operates, several members of my family operate bars. So when you talk about the bar bill and the animosity caused by a bar bill, I know about it. I've heard it being discussed. I know people can really dislike you for that. But the weirdest thing is movies did something to enhance alcohol sales, because so-called prohibition was one thing that they said alcohol was illegal and whatever, and then after the prohibition, it became popularized and then advertising, but movies made it seem cool to get drunk or get a little tipsy and release your inhibitions because society compresses people's sense of self. So a lot of people, they would say they get to the bar to be picked up or to pick up a lady, or as a lady to be picked up to meet someone interesting, to loosen up because society has compressed them. And so in one sense, when it gets out of control, because it's a good meeting spot, because I did start with the social element only because I'm not biased or pricky. There's a statement that comes from TV, because that's where I learned it from. I never learned it in a psychological textbook. They say the bartender is like a shrink. But this is American culture, because in Jamaica the bartender is a female and it's a sex symbol. Right? This is different, which is like a good rising vibe. But in America it's like my wife, my job, state, society. And so the movies said the bartender was a shrink because he's there helping these people while being inebriated with their problems. And so I always said to myself, well, it's just kind of a bit, when a man is drunk or a woman is drunk, a lot of things what they say is the truth. So I don't look at it just like people talking crap. Because there's a statement from the culture, because this is why I know about drinking. It says, Tom drunk but Tom fool. So a lot of times some people, because of being compressed, they take a drink or two and they seemingly lose it to us. But that lack of inhibition is what's causing them to fess up about something they've done. So they're not only confessing good truth things or beautiful truths, they're confessing ugly, macabre stuff that they've done to you. It's sometimes in those drunken moments they tell you what they really think about you and what they were doing to you or what they are doing, hallelujah, to you. So I think it serves many purposes. It's just that when you've lost self-control under any substance, it's crazy. But we are mentioning alcohol because number one, it has become the number one socializing drink. A fruit juice isn't. Water isn't. No matter how much you say you want to go hiking or you're into vegan, an alkaline smoothie isn't. Maybe for 2% after 2% after 2%. But alcohol is the social remedy, the social bond for hundreds upon hundreds of millions. And the Lord wanted me to make two differentiation. There's an organic-based alcohol that the Western Americans call moonshine, right? That we would have called our fermented roots. It does have alcohol, it's organic in nature, it's not distilled or highly refined as spirits. What is the next one? Spirits liqueur. Oh my God, don't go too much in your rum wine. Anyway, the spirits are highly refined, what I call a highly fermented ether. So it's different from moonshine. So let's just say original Scotch whiskey, not Scotch, original whiskey was not Scotch whiskey. That's what I meant to say. So the moonshine being made from corn, being made from wheat or barley, with a different process of distillation, the proof created a different, it's almost like a different organic nature to alcohol, that modern alcohol is more acidic and tends on to let the demon through. So it's cultured as ether because the spirits operate in the ether. But the moonshine, which is the more roots alcohol, is a different diffuser within the cells. But that's what the Lord wants me to make clear. Hallelujah. So traditional people made original whiskey and brandy from barley and at different stages. And the stronger stuff could make what we call a flammable substance. It could go as far in the ether to be like kerosene or something that could become flammable. So we never mess with it. All right, the Lord says show them a different way. I don't know why, but we are talking about alcohol. Original alcohol had a fruity flavor, a browner, darker tone, not ripe, not a crisp tone or color, not a sharp, resonant, dull, pale tone or essence. Thick, more natural, so it's more alkaline. organic, less acidic. That's it. So, hope I didn't get too carried away, but like I said, a great cross-section of people do drink alcohol, have drunk alcohol at one point or another in their life. Right now you're taking a sip as I'm saying this. So, judgments aside, you must be quite aware of what it's doing to your mental and emotional and your bodily system. If you've never tasted a drop of alcohol, I don't envy you. I say, God bless your soul. If you're a fundamentalist who don't believe in that, you might be putting a little fire in my tongue, and I accept it because, hey, I used to drink the stuff and I still take a sip, so who am I to say? Otherwise, though, love and blessings, brothers and sisters, because listen, if you are being plagued by the Spirit, you need to self-control, you need to go to the Lord, you need to pray about this, you need to let go of that dirty behavior and that unkind way of dealing with yourself. You have to love yourself, you know. If you don't love yourself, what's going to happen? You're going to fall apart. Brother, say, any closing words?
Well, something personal, you know. My father, when I was younger, you know, about 3, 4, 5, you know, 5 years old, I can recall my father beating my mother, coming home drunk.
Hey,
beating my mother, you know.
Oh, unfortunate, brother.
Over some foolishness. You know, whether some dishes no wash or him dinner no cook or you know hot up or whatever, you know? Some foolishness. My beat her.
Wow.
Now them divorce.
Yeah.
You know? Cause them divorce from when me are young, you know, in the 5-year-old them divorce, you know.
That's a harsh experience, man.
Yeah,
To be
man.
a strong woman to continue, there has to be some growth there and forgiveness.
So I just somebody vow to myself and say, me not beat no woman and me not get drunk. You see me? Make a vow based on what me see.
Real experience, man. That's real life.
I say me not beat no woman. No. No matter what. I'm not be a drunkard. Simple as that.
Wow. So that's where we're going to leave it, you know. Having some strong self-control to choose not to when some friends, family, the occasion is saying to take it to the Lord and heed His word when He says to you, don't put that glass to your lips. No matter how much you're telling you, oh, you're a prude, oh, you're this, oh, you're that, oh, you're such a ninny, oh, you're such a this, oh, you're such a that. If you want to keep your temper pure, my great old said it, you know, the Bible says it, don't think I'm just playing smart. Don't take that sip and throw it away. And if it enters your mouth, because I'm not a prude, switch it around a little and spit it out, right? Because guess what? It's already in your mouth, right? Don't pretend like it didn't make it to your mouth. It did. And you said, oh my God, great, oh, it tasted so awful. Yes, but you tasted it, right? So you know it tastes awful. You don't want to go drink it anymore, right? So self-control, brothers and sisters. Give God the glory. So until next time, this has been the great old Reasons Right here at the Show Life. Just sharing some insight on alcohol, alcoholism, the spirit of, you know, self-control as well, right? So keep sharing, subscribing to Trail Life Experience right here in Seala Media. Continue to support the Patreon to keep the ministry business on the flow of our videos going forward, and also the Wizio /mini therapy evening session with yours truly, the great Out. Yes, until next time, you know, this has been Reasons Right here at the Trail Life. I've been your host, the great Out, in the presence of my co-host, the prolific brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love.
Perfect love.